I'm the Kiki Poly Atheist. Today on the show, we're going to answer the question, do atheists have morals? Where do they come from, if not from a holy book? This one will be good. Stick around. So first of all, there's no evidence that that book was written by a divine hand. It was written by men hundreds and thousands of years ago. Men who didn't even understand the universe at an atomic level. Somehow we're all supposed to just accept ancient people knew the difference between right and wrong when they didn't even discover a compass or circumnavigate the earth? I mean, they didn't even know the earth was a sphere. By the way, flat earthers, based on evidence, you're wrong. I think it's pretty interesting how many religions assume if it wasn't for religion, humans would just rape and murder and pillage to their heart's content. But because we have religion, that doesn't happen. Actually, it's kind of the opposite. History has taught us that no one has gone into battle thinking God was on the side of their enemies. Yet a lot of battles happened because of religion and because of God. Okay, religious people, I've got a question for you. If you didn't have your holy book, do you really think you wouldn't be able to distinguish the difference between right and wrong? I mean, if you happened upon a sandwich that was labeled Jim Baker's sandwich, and your name wasn't Jim Baker, do you think taking it and eating it would be right or wrong? Do you need a holy book to tell you the difference between right and wrong when it comes to taking and eating that sandwich? Do you need a holy book to tell you it would be wrong to kill Jim Baker and take his sandwich and eat it? It's pretty obvious the right thing to do is to not take someone's sandwich, to not take something that doesn't belong to you. Not because the Bible has a verse on taking and eating sandwiches, but because you wouldn't want someone to take your sandwich and eat it. Or kill you to take your sandwich and eat it. And I'm not going to say it's instinct or something like that. It's actually way simpler. It's just the golden rule. Treat others the way you'd want to be treated. That's most morality right there. Yeah, there are some fuzzy areas. And yeah, I know you can put together some very precise examples that would make things tough to figure out. But that's what philosophy is for. The short version is the golden rule. Treat people the way you want to be treated. That's pretty much the difference between right and wrong. Taking someone's stuff is wrong because you wouldn't want someone to take your stuff. Eating someone else's sandwich without permission is wrong because you wouldn't want someone to eat your sandwich without permission. Murdering people is cool though, so have at it. No, clearly murdering people is wrong because you wouldn't want anyone to murder you. The only time murdering seems to be right is when a holy book says some enemy who's not following the holy book should be murdered. Think about that for a second. How many times does your holy text tell you it's okay to murder someone? Specifically someone who is not following the rules, that there's no evidence they were written by a divine hand, or someone who is literally outside your religion. There are a lot of holy books out there that encourage people to hurt other people based on religious beliefs. How is that moral? Yet we still have these holy books with these big lists of right and wrong. These lists are mixed with ways of how to coexist, ridiculous arbitrary rules, and contradictory passages. But either way, somehow you need to navigate this tangled web of right and wrong, or you're going to hell. It sounds to me like they set you up to fail on this one. But don't worry. Big part of religion is going to a weekly meeting where they will translate the meaning of this complicated list of arbitrary right and wrong. So you can find out you're wrong, but you can confess all your sins and apologize, and they will let you into heaven. Can you see the twist there? You're bad because they say you're bad. And then you have to prove to them that you're not bad, following their rules. I've got another question for you religious folk. How do you know your book got it right? I mean, there's a lot of books out there. I mean, say one book says not to eat pork and another book says not to eat beef, and they both say you're going to go to hell if you do so. How do you know whose is right? How do you know they're not both wrong? I mean, aside from the obvious answer that your book just is magically the right one. Let's say you didn't know and you actually want to figure it out. If you compared your book to all the thousands of holy books that have been written all through human history, how do you know which one is right? If someone told you that your book was right, why did you believe them? I mean, humans are pretty dang unreliable and shady. Getting back to morals, would it be moral to cut a baby? Or would it be moral to cut someone's genitals? I mean, would you want someone to cut off or mutilate your genitals? Clearly that seems wrong. Yet there are clearly some religions out there that mutilate women's genitals. Is that moral? There are some religions out there that mutilate newborn baby boys' genitals. Is that moral? Were your genitals cut when you were a baby? And while we're talking about it, did anyone get your consent for that? So when you asked, do atheists have morals? I kind of want to ask you, do religious people have morals? And here's the truth. The answer to both questions is, yeah, some of them do, but not all of them. It doesn't really matter which holy book you read. Some people will actually do all the morals in the holy book to a T, or at least try to. Other people will actually question the morals in the book because they don't seem to fit with their own internal compass. To them, some of these rules can't quite be right. So they do their best to pick and choose the stuff that feels moral based on their internal compass and skip the things that sound kind of immoral. But if you're not following the book, you're not following the book. If you're atheist, some of the atheists will try to follow things like the golden rule. Other ones won't. I wish I could say all atheists were trying to do the right thing, but that's just not true. The same way I wish I could say all religious people were all trying to do the right thing, but that's just not true either. There's many people out there who only want what's best for themselves or what's best for their side of a historical feud or argument. My personal answer for myself is that I try to live by the golden rule, and it's hard, but I get a little bit better every day. I know I'm not the only atheist out there, and you would be wise to assume that not all of the atheists follow this golden rule. But there are many atheists that do, and there are many atheists out there banding together under the name humanist, and they advocate for values and equality and trying to embody the phrase good without God. I'll leave you a link to humanism in the description. But when you think about it, when you ask the question, do atheists have morals? Where do they come from if not from a holy book? It sounds like what you're really asking is, can atheists be good without God? The answer to that is, yeah, absolutely. Check out the Golden Rule and humanism. So what's your moral code? Does it come out of a book? Do you follow it to a T, or do you pick and choose things that don't really seem like they fit your moral compass? What are some rules that you're not going to follow? What does that involve? Drop your answers in the comments below. I'm the Kiki Poly Atheist, and I follow the Golden Rule. I'll catch you guys next time. Kink responsibly.